One is your training has to be absolutely on target, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, wide arp. And I cannot tell you how many times that saved me in of itself. Like as a lead turret gunner, we were in the this massive traffic circle in a massive engagement where they found 30, the Rangers found 30 KIA insurgents, which is a significant amount of guys considering KI dead, $100 a day on these contracts, a couple grand a day on holidays. And so they gave us we have a black diplomatic passport. We have a GS-13 rank. We can grow out our beards. We can get a mohawk. We can do whatever we want. We're carrying around parasols with nut sacks on them, grenades, whatever, And then we're partying on top of that. Where military are not supposed to drink. Of course, the SEALs always do, but the military couldn't drink. And so it was like the Wild Wild West when I got there.
What was some of the operations that you guys were doing at that time? Like, was it a lot of security contracts, and what did those look like, or was it kicking down doors? Like,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't any. Well, it became like kicking down doors. Believe it or not, there was some crazy stuff that happened. Like people would get trapped in their in buildings and stuff, and we would go in and just hooligan tool and kick down the doors, and extract people out from all the bombs hitting. But it was started out as a Department of State diplomatic mission where you're basically taking the strap hangers anywhere from Dick Cheney to Condoleezza Rice to Hillary Clinton to just strap hangers, like nobodies that are there for the diplomatic Department of State mission, going to do coffee. And so you were taking them in these big armored convoys, in these black SUVs into downtown Baghdad to the Ministry of Oil, Ministry of Finance, and doing all these meetings. And I thought it was so damn pointless, but it was so fun, and dangerous as hell, And then it was so new that we just started developing as we went. We just started taking on side jobs and nobody said a word. Nobody's going to say anything. And so eventually, man, like I was on one team as the trunk monkey, and then I was a driver. Then I was a right and left door gunner in the hate truck, which was badass. We would listen to Beastie Boys all day. The whole inside of these hate trucks, the hate truck is the most important job on that type of team. You got like 4 trucks, and it's the very last truck. And they would gut it out, a Suburban, and then they would rhinoplasty the whole thing, put 2 benches down the middle, and then you had all these weapons stacked in there, and then you were D-ringed into a D-ring, and then you would open this 400-pound door, and you would lean out, and you were the right and left rear door gunner. The rear is the most susceptible to damage from a car bomb. And so did that for a while, did all kinds of missions, like probably sometimes 8 runs a day, 5 to 8 runs a day, going out in the red zone. And it's a numbers game. And you got other teams getting blown up. You get friends get killed, get injured, get wounded. But it started to get normalized to me. And then you're coming home at night in Blackwater, having pizza parties, drinking, then that's when I started taking some Xanax here, Valium there, some things like that, morphine and stuff. I mean, like, it started getting kind of wild, started getting out of control.
You're living really fast. Yeah.
Because when you're living life and death scenario, and then you're coming home every night and you're going to live it the next day, and you're like, I may not make it.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of wild.
And your adrenaline has to be fucking
Your
max.
adrenaline's so high. And then you have these adrenal dumps when you come in and start kind of shaking. A lot of crazy situations. They used to actually take just 2 guys from each team and put them on a little bird and take them deep into downtown Baghdad, drop them off on the top of a skyscraper. You would go down with your go bag of a couple of waters, a map, and a radio battery, extra radio battery, and a bunch of freaking grenades and ammo, extra ammo. You and another guy, you would sit there all day as an advanced party, wait till the principal came. This is insane if you think about it. 2 guys getting dropped off on a little bird on a skyscraper in downtown Baghdad at the height of the war, and dudes are getting kidnapped and getting killed all the time. There was other contracting companies like Aegis, where 2 British guys were taken just in the same similar situation, and they were beheaded and thrown in the Tigers. And so this stuff is going on all the time. And so, like I said, we started developing in our mission set and doing all kinds of stuff. And so it was very defensive at first. And then it became kind of half defensive, kind of started getting to more offensive, but never kicking down doors and killing dudes, and rescuing people like that. But eventually we became like the 911 force for the Army, some of the Marines sometimes, and National Guard. And we were coming in at night after a long day of missions and then running out Irish all the time. And we would come in, and then you'd have these rockets that would hit. And nobody was going and helping these people from the rockets when they would hit. It was kind of just a live and learn situation we developed. And so what we started doing was we'd hear these rocket attacks. We'd find out exactly where it was, or maybe we'd see it and run right into it, either on foot or jump in the cars and go to it, depending how far it was. So you'd have like about average of 90 rockets every month hit the green zone, 74 millimeter telephone pole size Iranian made rockets, 3 a day sometimes, right? 90 a month average. And these would come in and indiscriminately kill and maim and hurt. Sometimes nothing, just destroy a tree or something on their trajectory aimed at the embassy. And so we were going to all of these hits every night. And so by the end of the night, it's 2 a.m. in the morning, you're pressure washing the truck out with all this blood and brain and stuff. And you're prepping the trucks for the next day. And then you're going back out, repeat, drink coffee,
You got no time to
cigarettes.
process anything.
No.
Yeah. You're sitting there with a bunch of guys too that are kind of going through that same type of shit.
Yeah.
So do you have any moments or specific engagements that particularly stood out, especially because, as you highlighted, like this is the first time where you're experiencing all of it, war.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that stand out to me is some of the more surreal things that happen while you're under fire. One is your training has to be absolutely on target, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, wide arp. And I cannot tell you how many times that saved me in of itself. Like as a lead turret gunner, we were in the this massive traffic circle in a massive engagement where they found 30. The Rangers found 30 KIA insurgents, which is a significant amount of guys considering KI dead, dead on arrival, and they had boarded themselves up and sandbagged themselves up in these buildings surrounding this gray 5-5, this traffic circle, and they were shooting down on us, and they were actually walking up on a National Guard team when we got there, and 2 of our teams were engaged, and we raced in there, and I smoked these dudes that were walking up on the National Guard team. That was probably the best thing I ever done because I directly was involved in, and I saw it, I knew it, because this whole confirmed kill thing is kind of garbage because there's smoke going around. You don't know if your buddies got them. You don't know if you got them. Sometimes they get hit and they run around a building. You don't know if they died, but these guys got smoked. They got just a 240 machine gun, man, going off. Hitting, I'd hit these cars. These insurgents would try to crawl under them because there's nowhere to go. And these insurgents would try to crawl under these cars and stuff. And you hit that thing with 100, 200 rounds of a 240 direct hit. And I mean, first the car just drops to the pavement for the tires, and then chunks of tire fly up in the air, and then glass, windows, and they're trying to stuff themselves underneath this car, and you're just hitting it at an angle.
Just laying it down.
And I'm not glamorizing war, but that's just what happened. And these guys were just you could hear it hit them. You could hear when a 240 hits a body, it's like kind of like a baseball bat hitting a sandbag, hard, boom, 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 So you can hear the distinction between the body getting hit and the car getting hit. Smash, boom, boom, smash, smash, and just making Swiss cheese out of cars and buildings. And the tracers would, it looked like you were stringing Christmas lights on buildings.
Yeah.
Because that phosphorus tracer gets stuck in the concrete momentarily. So it gets stuck in a lot, and it would burn like like Christmas lights.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. And then I would carry this ammo can of 30 Golden Egg 40 Mike Mike, my favorite round munition of all time. It comes out of the 203. It's 40 Mike Mike. And I would carry that out to the truck every day. And a lot of guys were like, Jimmy, or Haas, they call me, Haas, why are you carrying that out here, bro? You lug that thing out because it's extra weight, bro. And when you're carrying a 240, your M16, water, extra ammo, everybody else's gear, it's a lot to carry out every single day and load up as a lead turret gunner. And so I carried out every single day. And that day, bro, I had that same can sitting there, and I went through 30 203 grenades, man, 30 in a row. And it went by like this. Like in firefights, things happen real fast. Like you'll think you shot 2 magazines. Like you'll think you shot 2 5.56 magazines, and you'll reach down and you'll be like, all your magazines will be, you ain't stowing away magazines and like gracefully. No, it's all out freaking war. And so all these empty magazines are laying around, and you think you just went through 1 or 2 magazines. That's how, and so you start to learn to conserve ammo. You learn so much in actual experience in war. And so I sent these 30 203 grenades, golden eggs, through each one of these windows as we were just banging it out. And we just stayed there and banged it out like the Alamo. And but during this firefight, the National Guard team deployed their incendiary grenades on top. It's like a defense mechanism or something on the Hummers. They just shoot out boom, 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 these incendiary. They're not grenades.
They're like smoke?
They're not thermites, but it comes out as phosphorus, like yeah, smoke.
Oh, okay.
Smoke. And that burned me really bad, burned some guys as we were going past. But that, it feels like when I think about this memory, it's like happening in slow motion. And then as we were exiting out of this place, we absolutely destroyed this entire traffic circle of insurgents and stuff. Man, we laid it to them. They had never knew what was coming. But every time I would reload, you could hear the snaps like a bullwhip by your face and ball ping hammers against the skin of the armored truck that we were in. And that's about as real as it gets, is when you're reloading and you have nowhere to go. There's no hiding. There's no getting down with your buddies, because some of your buddies are down below. They're depending on you to fight with all that you have. And so some of the realest surreal moments were when I was reloading and I was concentrating slow as smooth as fast. Because if you miss that magazine well, if you have too many jams, it's over. In Murphy's Law, I've never been in a firefight that didn't have a jam. Something traumatic happened. Guys over here trying to change his barrel out because it's like welded down to his 240, just breathing fire down your neck. I mean, stuff's happening. And as we were exiting out of that traffic circle, I remember there was so much gunfire going on that this massive like metal tin sign, as we were coming off, just come unhinged. It came unhinged somehow. And I can remember it falling from this skyscraper. And as it was falling like this, it picked up like a wing like that. And it was coming directly at me like this. It picked up like this and was coming directly at me. And if you ever seen Indiana Jones, where he has to like do some weird stuff, like he's got to go like this and jump up, and that ghost-like thing chops everybody's heads off. That thing was coming at me like this. And I remember I just told my buddy, I said, yo, bro, duck. And I dug like this. And I don't think it would have cut our heads off, but it was so close. I don't want to find out, but it went like this right by us. So weird stuff like that happens all the time.